Hello, everybody. I hope you had a great Monday. Today was a really interesting day that just gave me a lot of thought, and it also just was one of those days that makes me remember why I love doing what I do. I love being for people, being here for people when they need someone, when they need to be heard, in a manner that's non-judgmental. I had the greatest compliment today from a returning client, and she said to me, "You are one of the few people that I can speak to, and that I don't have to weigh and measure my words because I know that you'll just take my words for what they are and not judge them to be right or wrong." So today was interesting because my clients had a range of issues in a range of ages, and but they all pointed to a couple of really common things. When we live our lives based on society's expectations and these old rules of, what's right and what's wrong, and how, especially women, how women are supposed to be. A woman's not supposed to choose to leave a marriage. But what if your partner is not providing a stable place for you to be? What if that's not a healthy example for your children? What then? Then isn't it the best and the right decision to leave and go at it on your own, where children would have one healthy and stable parent rather than parents who stay together in a marriage where it's extremely unhealthy, and the examples of what's going on is extremely unhealthy. I think that society has a lot of have-tos and shoulds and musts and rights and wrongs that, one size doesn't fit all people, and it certainly doesn't fit every situation. So I am happy to be in a position where I get to work with people and support them through these tough choices, and to be able to let them know that their decisions need to be right for them, and there's times where you absolutely have to put yourself first, and that's not selfish. And in the case of another situation, there's societal and cultural expectations of what a person is supposed to do at a certain age or by a certain age, and what a person is supposed to do in exchange for having a job or being part of a certain family. And no. You are the only one who's going to live your life putting yourself first. And that's not selfish. Now, if you're like robbing grandma's bank account so you can go tour Europe, well, okay, that's selfish and it's wrong and it's illegal and all sorts of things. But if you're choosing yourself, if you're choosing, say you're a young person and your family's hoping that you're going to join the family business, but you really want to do something completely different, that's not wrong. That's not selfish. That's you living your life. If you're in an unhealthy relationship that is draining your will to live and is providing a really poor example for your kids because your spouse has an issue that they're not dealing with that is an unhealthy example, then you absolutely can make a choice to leave. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care what religion says about church or about divorce and No, you have to make those choices that are right for you in the situation that you're in. And, I admire today's youth. I admire that they go someplace and they decide it's not right for them and then they decide to do something else. I think that is so much better than thinking that you should stay so you can tick off that 10 or 15 or 20 or 25-year mark and get the watch. You know what? It's probably not even a watch you choose for yourself. So, I don't know. People need to choose themselves. People need to do what's right for them, regardless of what those in their family have done for them or what society says is right or wrong. We shouldn't allow other people to should on us, and we should never should on ourselves. We have choices. It's an amazing time in the world where we have so many choices. And yes, some of those choices, they're going to put us in a tough situation for a little while. Like if we decide to leave a marriage, we're going to have a time where money's going to be a bit tight. Things are going to be a bit short. Our world's going to feel upside down. And if we have kids, our kids are going to have to go through some shifts, and they might feel a little bit broken. They might feel a little bit lost. But we just need to keep the lines of communication open, and we need to remember why we're doing the things that we're doing. And it's okay for people to have an opinion about what you're choosing. And it's also okay for you to tell those people to keep their opinion to themselves. And also, today I talked to both of my clients about how to communicate, how, not what to say, but how to approach those things. Like if someone has an opinion or they're making a face or they, make one of those things where they're saying something, but they're not really clearly saying that they have a problem with what you're doing, but you're definitely left with the opinion that they have a problem with what you're doing. There's a wonderful communication tool, and I think I might have already mentioned it in another live, but it bears mentioning again. So if someone says something and you're really not sure what they meant, if there was a message between the lines, there's a really cool way of approaching it. When I heard you say this, I thought you meant that. Or when I heard you say this, I felt that. Is that what you intended? And then you wait. Because by not saying, you're putting me down, or you're judging me as wrong, or you're calling me a whatever, and making an assumption, and then using fighting words to tell them how they're feeling or tell them what they meant, instead, we're asking them to clarify what they said, right? And then we just wait and let them speak. And if they meant what you thought they meant, which wasn't very nice, it's okay to say, I respect your right to have that opinion, but I also have a right to live my life the way that I see fit, to raise my children the way I see fit, to travel the world if that's what I want to do, and then just go do it. There's an old saying, I don't know who said it, but the phrase is, your reputation is none of your business. So what that means is it doesn't matter what other people think of you. What really matters is what you think of you. And at the end of your life, it's going to matter how you lived your life and what choices you made and what experiences you had when you were here. Like if you want to go to Europe and then you keep waiting for everyone else to give you permission to go to Europe, you might never go. If you want to go back to school, you should go back to school. If you realize that your marriage was a mistake, then you should, in fairness to you and in fairness to your spouse, you should own up to that and either fix it or part ways. And nobody should judge that. sometimes it's an inconvenience to them because maybe, I don't know, maybe they liked being couple friends with you and your spouse and now that's not going to happen. Well, no offense, but tough luck. It's just, it has to be your choice. So I love what I do. I love creating a space where people can be honest and open to talk about what's on their mind, to talk about what they want to do, to help them remove blocks, to help them build appropriate boundaries, and to help them find the words that they need to say to the people that they need to say them to as they go through these shifts and changes in their lives. And yeah, I think it's time. And a lot of times I'm finding that it's women who are getting shoulded on all the time. You should do this, you should dress this way, you should be this way, you should have kids by now. All those things, and people just shouldn't should on you. It's a little bit of an oxymoron, but truly, they're entitled to their opinion, but they're entitled to keep their opinion to themselves if that's what you need them to do. And yeah, I am so happy to be here and to be able to support these beautiful souls as they're going through changes, to be able to give them tools to calm themselves, to give them tools to communicate, and to help them find the strength to give themselves the permission to choose their lives. So yeah, what do you wish you could do if you didn't have to worry about what other people thought about that thing? And what's one step you could take towards living that dream? Think about that. What dreams have you set aside because they might be inconvenient to someone else? And what would your life be like if you took that dream by the horns and went for it? I don't know. I think that if everyone went after their passion in life, if everyone was pursuing things that gave them joy and that filled them up with self-love and joy, if we all had that in our lives, we would just be spilling out. Our cup would runneth over. And because we had that joy and we had that passion about how we're living our lives, we would want to fuel that fire of that passion in other people and help them live their best lives. And if everyone was doing that, can you imagine what it would be like to live in that world? That's a world I want to live in. And that's the kinds of experiences I have one-on-one in the treatment room here in my home is the kind of program that I want to build to be able to reach people who are too far away or who are more comfortable doing the work on their own. Yeah, so what is it that you wish, what's that deep, shining light that's kind of just flickering in the back of your dreams that you wish you could do if you had the bravery and if you thought the universe had your back to go pursue that dream? What would you do? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your dream. I'd love to be a part of dreaming that dream for you and, maybe wishing it into reality. All right. Well, I hope you have sweet dreams tonight, and I'd really love to know what you think. Are these videos helpful? Let me know. By the time we're done the 30 days, you'll have seen like every space in my home. Have a good night. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your feedback, and especially thank you for the conversation. Let me know if there's something you'd like to hear about. And yeah, sweet dreams.